heated exchange that cameras caught in the second quarter. Here's Kyler Murray and Kliff Kingsbury downplaying that incident.
He said I didn't look good on TV, acting that fiery. So he said, I don't know, I guess it's a Gen Z thing. You're on TV, so calm down. I'm like, I like showing emotion.
He's real animated over there on the sideline sometimes, so it's always, it's never, calm down, we're good, we're going to make it right. We ended up scoring, so that was good. But, yeah, that's all I was saying. Just chill out.
All right. S.A., I'm going to start with you. I feel like it's a little unusual, tell me, I mean, you've been in sports longer than I am, for the quarterback to tell the coach that he needs to calm down. But, I mean, I could be wrong. It feels like a role reversal. What do you make of this? Is this something or nothing?
Stephen A., hold on. S.A., please make this a big deal. I just want you to make it a big deal. Make it a big deal, man.
Let me say this to you. I think they were both lying their asses off. That's number one. Let's get that out the way right now. Nobody believe in that, okay? Anybody believe in that?
The lie was together, though.
Say what?
It was together. They
were lied together, though. I respect
that. Hold on. I didn't say I don't respect it. I mean, it ain't really none of our business what they got into, and the fact that they both covered it up, it's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things in a lot of people's eyes. I get all that. Let me tell you why I think it's a big deal, though. Because I think you're seeing a guy named Kyler Murray that's tired of getting the finger pointed at him, knowing who he's playing for. You see, you're playing for a guy in Kliff Kingsbury that came into this league undeservedly, so I might add. He did not deserve to be a head NFL coach. We all know this. Got the job anyway because he's supposed to be some quarterback guru, this guy that ingratiates himself with young talent from the quarterback position, okay? And what was he doing? He was calling plays. What happened? He got his extension. Steve Keim got his extension. After they got their extension, they turned around, and there was a debate as to whether or not Kyler Murray was going to get hit. And so when you look at it from that perspective, and you have that level of understanding, it's like, wait a minute here. Y'all pointing the finger at me, but what the hell are you doing? You out here calling the plays. You out here picking personnel. The kind of situation that we're in where there's a multitude of things that ain't working. Here I am coming to the rescue in the second half, particularly fourth quarters and overtimes, in order for us to remain respectable and to still be in the thick of things. And you're going to talk to me about what I'm not doing, okay? I think that's what we saw last night. I think we saw remnants of that really elevating to the surface. And what you're seeing is a situation where Kyler Murray ain't playing video games, ain't focused on signing contracts that dictate the amount of time he's supposed to spend in film room. What he's doing instead is saying, I'm out here doing my job. What y'all doing? I think that's what we saw. I think we saw a nugget of that. That's just speculation. I ain't on the sideline. I won't be in Arizona until the Super Bowl, okay? All right? That's the bottom line. I wasn't there. But from my bird's eye view, when I saw that happen, that's what entered my mind. You want to call it a big deal? Fine. You want to say it's not a big deal? Fine. But that's what the hell I saw. And I didn't mind one bit.
Well, the first thing I thought to myself was about dang time. That's what I wanted to see. I want Kyler to be fired up. I want Kyler to be locked in. I want Kyler to be a leader. DeAndre Hopkins said after the game, he called the players-only meeting, and the first person he made speak was Kyler Murray because he said his team needed to hear him. The team needed to know how locked in he was, that he was the leader, and that winning football games mattered. We just had the Draymond Jordan Poole situation, and no situation should a player ever steal off on his homeboy like that. Not at all. I'm not saying that. But sometimes when you have brothers, when you have teammates, you get into it. And every now and then, somebody in that locker room tells you something, and you go, you know what? You right. You see, Kliff Kingsbury wasn't tripping. DeAndre Hopkins put his arm around Kyler Murray, and Kliff Kingsbury did exactly what Kyler Murray asked him. Calm the frick down. We got this. And every now and then, sometimes you got to pass over the torch to your young quarterback and say, you know what? You right. It's your team. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do my job. But when it comes to running this team, as it becomes on game day, as it pertains to the grass, I'm going to let you do that. This was the chance and this was the moment we've been waiting on from Kyler Murray. The moment where it's not about the contract, Stephen A. The moments where it's not about video games. It's not about studying. It's about showing me that nothing matters more to you right now than the present. Nothing matters more to you right now than what's going on. And you are totally locked in on making sure you do exactly what you need to do to win. And if other people around you ain't helping, then you need to let them know that they ain't helping. Kliff Kingsbury was not helping at that point. I don't know if he was too animated, if he was too loud in the headphones, if he was saying things that Kyler Murray didn't feel like hearing. But the bottom line to Kyler Murray was that you're going to chill the hell out. And Kliff Kingsbury did that. You get 2 pick sixes. DeAndre Hopkins starts to get the rock. You win the game. Hey, all is well that ends well. Now we can get our lie together.
Hey, Swagoo, you know what Kyler Murray getting on Kliff Kingsbury last night reminded me of? When I was home recovering from my shoulder surgery, and I saw RC telling Mad Dog, you need to lower your voice.
You need to lower
your voice.
Really, bro?
RC, you was hot. You
really,
was hot,
dog?
RC. You was hot. That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like.
Really?
Stephen A., you are absolutely right,
Why y'all
bro.
so
You are
messy?
absolutely right.
RC, we are.
Messy.
We right, man.
Because.
RC, get your lie together.
RC, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
Was that not the right pivot? Was that not the right pivot?
I'm gonna be honest, guys.
To Swagoo? Was that not the right pivot to Swagoo?
That's a great pivot. That is a great pivot. And I ain't got no lie, Molly. Y'all know me.
RC, I was on the show that day.
When RC mad for real, this is how all this sentences start. What you're not gonna do, that's what his sentence starts with.
What you're not gonna do.
What you're not gonna do. He said, man, no, what you're not gonna do is keep hollering at me, man. I'm right here. Man, let me get into this Kyler Murray, Kliff Kingsbury. I agree with y'all on both sides, man. And it depends on what prism you're looking at it from. I think all three of us have been around sports long enough to know that those type of interactions happen more often than not, right?
Swag.
And for me, what you said, Stephen A., is poignant because some people will interpret it that way. And they'll look at it that way. Because I've always thought, like, regardless of your star player or whatever, and we've heard these things about how Belichick treated Tom Brady the same. Even though we in the locker room know it's not the same, it still looks good for a coach to approach certain players that have a cachet on a team with some reverence or a different level of respect. We get that, but it's important for them, not for other teammates, not to see it that way. The one thing you can look at this as is, do you really want Kyler Murray and Kliff Kingsbury to be peers? Like, that came to my mind. It's not what I thought, but that's what came to my mind. Do you really want them to be peers where you can,
it's a weird
like,
dynamic.
go at it? Yeah, like, I don't know of any other coach in the NFL with that type of relationship where you could actually have that happen on camera and the head coach don't go crazy lose it or go ahead.
Can I say, I need to chime in because it's very important in all seriousness, a point that you brought up that I think needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
No, that's not a dynamic you want unless that's how you got the damn job.
Exactly.
Kliff Kingsbury comes over from Texas Tech. You understand? You didn't have the qualifications to be an NFL head coach. So what you did was you utilized your reputation as this dude that had that kind of special relationship with a quarterback of Kyler Murray's stature. So because of that, you rode that to bypassing a whole bunch of white and black candidates, I might add, and you got the head coaching job. That's how that happens.
Stephen A., I love that you made that point because that's the thing that I thought about. Like, you got to, if you Kliff Kingsbury, and what I texted, y'all know I'm petty on Twitter just like RC. Yes. What I tweeted was Kliff scared. Because you petty on Twitter. That's just what it boiled down to.
I love this LSU fighting.
I said,
fight like this.
RC, what I said is Kliff scared. And everybody thought I was talking about Kliff scared of Kyler Murray. No, Kliff scared to go over that line and knowing that Kyler Murray is going to be there longer than he's going to be there based on what his team is right now. So it's two ways to look at it. What I believe, and being in the league and playing, and RC and Stephen A., you covering it for so long, and Molly being around it, what I believe is you got to determine within those walls if this is healthy for you individually as a football team and your relationship. It's hard to interpret. Like, y'all know I be wanting to get on TV and flame people when I think they done something out of the ordinary. I really believe this was healthy for the Arizona Cardinals. I lay in the
agree. I
same
do too.
vein as RC. The one thing I would caution, though, is that Kliff Kingsbury and the Arizona Cardinals got to be careful about where that line is, especially when it comes to public consumption. Because last night, it looked like a quarterback that was like, Coach, you ain't important here, bro. Let me handle my business. That's what it looks like to some people. Now, to us that's been around it, it looked like two competitors disagreeing on a situation in the game and then coming out and eventually being better. That's the only thing that I want to put out there. When you see a quarterback coming back to the sideline, telling his coach to calm the F down and telling him and being in his face like that, you got to really think about where is that line of respect, or is this their relationship based off what you just said, Stephen A? Because Kliff Kingsbury knows that my success is tied directly to Kyler Murray's success. And if I go in the front office and say something, as opposed to Kyler Murray going in the front office and say something, what he's saying gonna hold 189 pounds worth of weight, if you catch my drift. 189 mil is what he got guaranteed.
The other thing is this, though, y'all. Like, as much as we want to talk about Kliff Kingsbury, how he got the job or whatever, you also have to think about any man in that position. Kliff Kingsbury is a former player as well. You have ego, right? And a lot of these guys are tough guys. Kliff Kingsbury did the right thing. Kliff Kingsbury calmed down. He didn't escalate the situation. He didn't make it worse by getting back in Kyler's face or getting into Kyler's face and making this altercation even bigger than it looked outside of Kyler Murray's one soundbite or two soundbites with him screaming at Kliff Kingsbury. This was the way it was supposed to be handled. And I got a saying, and Marcus knows this 100%. I'm with you when you're right, and if you my people, I'm with you when you're wrong in public. This is a conversation that they can have privately, right? They can have privately, and they can say, hey, and Kliff can say, hey, what you did isn't cool, but I got it. I understand it. Going forward, we're not going to have that no more. But for that night, it was okay. We moved through it, but that's the last time that's going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Great conversation. RC, appreciate you. Have a fabulous weekend. We will see you here in Seaport on Monday.
See you later on. Swagoo, I'm coming to campus right now. I'll see you in a second.
Well, come on, man. Bring some meat.
This is so cute. You two, Roman campus, like the good old days.
The brothers never invited me down there. They
Stephen,
supposed
they don't
to be
act
my
like
boys.
that.
They ain't
Don't
even
act like
invite me
that.
down there.
We have a no-hater policy on campus.
Absolutely.
No hater policy.
The gate is locked, so I'm invited.
Really? Maybe that's why y'all ain't won the last couple
Molly
of years.
can come.
I'm just saying.
Thank you. Tiger is my spirit animal, so it is fitting.
You just got to go low,
All right.
don't you?
RC,
You got to go low.
appreciate you. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
See you
And,
guys.
Marcus, stand by. We're just going to get into a little NBA, and then you'll be right back. All right,
All right,
let's
good
talk
deal.
about that game last